Dan Pink got 32 million views for his TED Talk. And the way he opens goes against what you might expect for a subject matter expert. Just look at what he does.
I need to make a confession at the outset here. A little over 20 years ago, I did something that I regret. Something that I'm not particularly proud of. Something that in many ways I wish no one would ever know. But that here I feel kind of obliged to reveal. In the late 1980s, in a moment of youthful indiscretion, I went to law school. Now,
so Dan Pink goes on stage introduced as a best-selling author, and what that can do is create distance between the speaker and the audience, when what you're trying to do is really build connection with them so you can get your ideas across. The worst thing you can do in this situation is start by sounding clever, because clever is boring and lofty and people will dismiss it immediately. Instead, what he does is he kind of makes fun of himself and his profession and gets people engaged that way, which one, builds connection, and secondly, shows that the rest of the presentation is going to be fun to listen to.
when I got to law school, I didn't do very well. To put it mildly, I didn't do very well. I, in fact, graduated in the part of my law school class that made the top 90% possible.
If you look at what he says in that section, he doesn't just say that he's a lawyer, he says that he's a bad lawyer. And that means that he's not going to be one of those experts who just uses his title or his experience to make you trust them. Rather, he's going to bring something relevant and valuable to you and prove that in the moment. You might be an expert, and the danger is thinking that your expertise, your experience, is what gives you authority when you stand up on stage and speak. Well, it can get attention, but relatability, that's what builds trust, and trust is how you get ideas across. Dan Pink understood the difference.